Is Netanyahu now rushing to strengthen Israel's forces after what may have been a sobering reality check delivered by the scale and intensity of the confrontation with Iran? Israel's reported plan to acquire 2 new fighter squadrons is already fueling speculation that leaders in Tel Aviv may be preparing for the possibility that the Iran war could restart sooner than expected. The defense establishment is also talking in terms of lessons learned, and with Trump now hinting that strikes could resume, the latest military moves are being viewed by some as preparation for another volatile phase.
Sir, under what circumstances would you restart military strikes on target? Well, I don't want to say that. I mean, I can't tell that to a reporter. If they misbehave, if they do something bad, but right now, we'll see. But it's a possibility that could happen, sir.
Israel is reportedly preparing to acquire 2 new fighter squadrons amid growing fears that the current pause could give way to a renewed and potentially wider war in the region. According to emerging reports, Israel's Ministerial Committee on Procurement has approved the purchase of 2 new squadrons, signaling what appears to be a significant step toward expanding its air power capacity. An I-24 news correspondent reported on May 3 that the move is intended to bolster squadron strength, adding to signs that Israeli defense planners may be preparing for a more demanding security environment. Guy Osriel said, and I quote, "Israel's Ministerial Committee on Procurement approved the purchase of 2 new fighter squadrons, a 4th squadron of F-35 Adir jets, F-35 Lightning II, by Lockheed Martin, and a 2nd squadron of F-15I aircraft, variant of F-15 Eagle, by Boeing." The deal, estimated at tens of billions of shekels, includes integration, logistics, spare parts, and long-term support. Defense Minister Israel Katz said lessons from the campaign against Iran require accelerating force buildup, calling the procurement a key part of the Shield of Israel plan to ensure Israel's long-term qualitative military edge. Unquote. This is being described as the first major step in a decade-long military buildup program said to total around 350 billion shekels, pointing to a much broader long-term rearmament vision. The reported expansion appears aimed at preserving Israel's strategic air superiority at a time when regional threats remain elevated and defense spending is already climbing sharply. The move is also being discussed during a reported pause in fighting with Iran after days of intense war, which is why some observers see the timing as especially significant rather than routine. At the same time, Trump hinted on May 2 that US-Israeli strikes on Iran could resume amid continued deadlock, adding to speculation that this procurement push may be tied to expectations of another round of confrontation.
So I think we can do this right here instead of at Doral. We're going to Doral. A lot of you are traveling with me. Doing very well with regard to just about everything, but doing very well with regard to Iran. Again, they want to make a deal. They're decimated. They're having a hard time figuring out who their leader is. They don't know who their leader is because their leader is gone. And their former leader, Khomeini. But we'll see. Any questions real fast?
Look, if it was 14 voice, the right goes for
Which? The new 14 voice.
you come said that wrong.
No, I haven't. I'm looking at it uphill.
You're looking at a trap.
I'll let you know about it later. But,
President, last night you said you might be better off not making a deal with Iran.
well, I wouldn't have to. I didn't say that. I said that if we left right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild. But we're not leaving right now. We're going to do it so nobody has to go back in 2 years or 5 years.
Mr. President, you also said about saying that.
They told me about the concept of the deal. They're going to give me the exact wording there, yeah.
Mr. President, last night you also said that only like 85% of Iran's missile-making capabilities has been eliminated.
Correct.
Is that other 15% important? Does the United States need to eliminate that?
Well, I'd like to eliminate, yeah. I'd like to. It'd be a start for them to build up again. And yeah, I would like to eliminate it.
Sir, under what circumstances would you restart military strikes on target?
Well, I don't want to say that. I mean, I can't tell that to a reporter. If they misbehave, if they do something bad, but right now, we'll see. But it's a possibility that could happen, sir.
Mr. President, you said, President, in your letter to Congress, you said the hostilities in Iran that started have been terminated. How can you say that given that the naval blockade is still being militarily enforced?
Well, it's a very friendly blockade. Nobody's even challenging it. Nobody at all is challenging it. Just so you understand, many presidents have been involved in things that are very big. They never had to go through anything with respect to Congress. They considered it to be totally unconstitutional. And the Democrats in Congress that pushed this, and probably a couple of Republicans, they're hurting our negotiating ability, which is infinite right now. and they shouldn't be doing it. It's never happened before. No other president's done it, and I'm not going to be the first. Thank you very much.
President, you're running for this.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. President. Do you envision a future where American energy companies are operating inside of Iran, much like Venezuela?
It could be. I'll tell you what, we have a lot of ships coming up to Texas and Louisiana. It's a line of ships. You saw the satellite. We have a line of ships, big ones, 2 million barrels, and they're coming up. I mean, literally hundreds of ships are in line to go to Texas. I mean, they're already started, but we're selling a lot of oil,
Mr. President, why is the U.S. removing troops from Germany? Why is the U.S. removing troops from Germany?
We're going to cut way down, and we're cutting a lot further than 5,000. Thank you very much.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.